in history, all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man.
CASSIUS IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the final press conference here for Rise Again this Saturday night, live on Sky Sports. Brook versus Ramchenko, Alan Thomas 2, McDonald Yafai, Galahad, Fielding,
Appleyard, Shafiq, Leeward.
That's your pitch, isn't it? Eddie Hearn.
Great card.
How are you?
I'm very well.
You
I'm
made
warmer.
You made it.
People like tweeting me, say, "Oh, is it? You know, I'm in Sheffield. Is a press conference today?" I was like, "Mate, I'm coming up from Essex. 4 hours. You get a train up?
Yeah.
All good.
Left at 8.
Nice.
Got here for 12.
Sweet.
4 hours. Courtesy of Matchroom, obviously.
Of course. It's the only way to travel, baby.
You don't own the train, but anyway.
Probably do.
Maybe. Yeah, the card, yeah, so some great 50-50 fights on the card. What one, all right, aside from Brook, obviously, what are you most looking forward to?
Let's break them down. I mean, we talk about Kell Brook at first. So excited about this fight because Rabchenko's a tough guy, can punch, likes to come forward. Bit nervous, to be honest, a few butterflies, and that's good, I think, because I feel like I did when we had Kell back in the day, and it was like us against the world, you know. We've had some great nights at the arena, and I'm looking for a great performance. But we'll find out everything we need to know about Kell Brook in this fight, all the unanswered questions. For me, Gamaliel fight against Gavin McDonald is just a brilliant fight. You know, I've never seen Gavin McDonald talk with such confidence, and I know Gamal is feeling the pressure, which is good, because this is his big step up. You know, like all these youngsters, you know, you get developed, you get built, you get educated in and out of the ring, and then it's like, you know, that moment you take your kid to school and you don't walk them to the classroom anymore. You just stand there and you say, off you go, son. And that's the situation with Gamaliel Yafai. Off you go, son. You're ready. You're ready for that big, old, wide, bad world. But is it too early? Is it the right time? Does he have the ability? Does he have the power to take out Gavin McDonald? Because Gavin McDonald's talking real smart right now. And of course,
Feels he's going to stop him late.
I know. It's going to be a great fight. And then, of course, the cult hero of British boxing, not KUGAN CASSIUS, Dave Allen.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it's quite funny because Dave Allen's like, obviously documented that he is in this incredible shape and he's training so hard. And Leroy Thomas turned up looking about 20 times better than he did last time. And I saw Dave sort of look at Leroy and he went, oh, he looks well, doesn't he? So he's been doing the same. He's been in camp with Deontay Wilder for 6 or 7 weeks. This now becomes a much tougher fight for Dave Allen because this is a much better Leroy Thomas and it's a much better Dave Allen. So actually the first fight was a little bit of a stinker, wasn't it? Expected it to be a great fight. I think you're going to get a cracker here because Dave Allen has to fight with educated pressure and a whole lot of desperation. Because this is it, 36 minutes. How bad do you want it? Oh, I can't wait for that fight.
If he's not successful, which we obviously hope he is, he's not successful, are you kind of... Is that what you're saying? You're done with Dave?
I think, you know, there's been a lot of stuff said by me, this is your last chance. And that's what I want to get into his head and drum into him in this fight. I want him to fight that way. I don't want him to be erratic, but I want him to fight like it's his last chance, you know? But he has a big following now. You know, he's a big ticket seller, he's extremely popular, but you've got to be able to fight. You can't just do funny Instagram stories. But I believe he can fight. I believe in him as a heavyweight. And if he can beat Leroy Thomas, it opens the doors to some big fights. And I want to make him as much money as possible. I want to see him in the big fights. I want to see him improve. I want to see him be happy. And I know, and this is why I've paid the money for this fight, I know how happy he will be if he becomes Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
Kid Galahad on the card.
Yep, Irvin Berry. It's a tough fight. I mean, Berry's been in with the likes of, well, last fight went 12 with Johnny Gonzalez. Fought Nicholas Walters. I've been in with some good guys. I think this is a fight where Kid Galahad needs to come and make a statement. He wants to be up there. Of course, we've got the big fight next week, Scott Quigg against Oscar Valdez for the world title. He wants to be up there with those guys. So this is a chance for him to get moving and sold a lot of tickets. Very popular. He's going to kick off the Sky transmission at 7:30.
If Quigg, again, we hope is successful against Oscar Valdez, is that something further down the line that you
possibly.
could
I mean, we've
entertain?
already talked about Quigg against Galahad, with Scott and with Kidd and Dom Ingle. So, yeah, I mean, all those domestic fights, that's what people want to see.
Now, huge fight on Sky Sports this weekend as well.
I mean, what a night on Sky Sports this weekend. We're kicking off at 7:30 with our big Sheffield card. Gamal Yafai against Gavin McDonald. Dave Allen against Leroy Thomas. Kid Galahad, the special one. Then we're over to New York. A brilliant super middleweight fight, by the way. Durrell against Who's Cat Sky. Do you remember the first fight?
Yeah.
Boom. And then...
That's when the
trainer.
Yeah.
And then the big one, Wilder against Ortiz.
We'll come on to that in a second. And obviously, in between all this, MCK streaming a show from Brentwood in Essex this Saturday. So a lot of boxing on.
Exactly. And actually, I was looking on BoxRec. There is also about another 4 or 5 shows around the country. Smaller, non-TV shows. Brilliant.
You're milking the cow.
Apparently so. That's what Deontay said. I think he's just got the hump because his udders are dry. I mean, there's a guy, really, as a promoter, I look at Deontay Wilder, I think, wow, you are gold dust. You can really fight. You look the part. You're a great talker. So why are you on such small money as WBC heavyweight champion of the world? He doesn't have a promoter. I don't think he has a promotional deal. So he's single-handedly, he's like a solo salesman. He's having to go around everywhere. And my worry is that he's taking his eye off Luis Ortiz. Because this is a tough fight. This is his first proper fight. But he spent the whole time selling the fight off Anthony Joshua and me. But one thing he needs to know is, if there's the biggest fight in world boxing, don't you think old greedy bollocks here wants to make it? And don't you think that Anthony Joshua, after all the talk from Wilder, wants to fill him in? 100%. I was with AJ this morning. He's desperate for the Wilder fight. But he came in with these ridiculous demands. But it's one thing talking about it. All he does is talk in the media. Give me a call. You want to earn some real money? Deontay, call me, baby. Come on. Let's not talk in the media. Let's talk about business at the table.
Is he not
Deal with
working
Luis Ortiz.
Shelley Finkel anymore?
Yeah, I think Shelley Finkel's his
Still
advisor.
still involved.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
But really, all he's done is talk. Let's talk at the table. Deal with Luis Ortiz. Let us deal with Joseph Parker. If we do that, we have 3 belts. You have the 1 belt. That's all we want. We aren't bothered about Deontay Wilder. We want that little bit of bling around his waist. That's all. We want the tag undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But he's going to miss out because we'll fight Tyson Fury anyway. So what do you want, people? Tweet me. Tweet the hashtag AJ Wilder or AJ Fury. Tell me what you want. What do you want?
I'm going to have to say...
I'll tell you now. You're going to get all of them.
I know, but I'll have to say Joshua Fury. Have to.
He's ready for that, AJ.
But all the belts, Wilder.
Look, you know AJ. He ain't someone that calls people out. I know what he wants. He wants to be the best. He wants to win all the world championship belts, and he wants to beat these guys up. He wants to deal with Wilder. He's not bothered about that fight. He actually thinks that's quite an easy fight. He wants to deal with Tyson Fury. So, the British public, don't worry. Don't listen to bluster. Know this. Hard, cold facts. Deontay Wilder has been a pro for 10 years. He has had 39 fights. This is the 7th defence of his world title championship. How many unifications has he had? None. How many has he been close to having? None. So, how can you sit there in interviews and say, you know me, baby, I'm all about the belts. I'm about the unifications. Well, any chance you having one? No. That's the truth. Anthony Joshua, pro for 4 years, 20 fights, British, Commonwealth, world heavyweight champion. This is the 5th defence of Anthony Joshua's world title fight. How many unifications has he had? 2. Probably wishes he had more. Less talk, more action. Simple. Facts.
In the words of Andre Ward, pick up the phone, yeah?
Pick up the phone and call me. Deontay. We get this made very easily. You're going to win, I believe, against Ortiz. You'll come into Cardiff. Let's go to Celtic Manor. Maybe 18 holes of golf. Cup of tea and a slice of cake. We'll get the fight, mate. Oh, phone's ringing.
Not Wilder there, is it?
Oh, it's Deontay. Deontay.
Other case scenario. Ortiz beats Wilder.
Rematch clause, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would take
Slows
focus.
it slows things right down. We don't want that. You know, I like Deontay Wilder. He's a good fighter. He's a great talker. He's a good guy. But know the facts. Just don't. What's the value in being an internet warrior? Or a keyboard warrior, or whatever it's called. Just cool. Make the fight.
Are you calling Deontay Wilder a keyboard warrior?
No, but that's how he's. You know, it's like. But he's trying to sell tickets for the Ortiz fight off the back of Anthony Joshua. He must be tired. The fight's in 48 hours. Come off social media. Stop talking smack. Rest. And get ready for a real fight. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Where's Eddie Hearn in full Eddie Hearn mode? It's great. Okay. So, do you want to talk about your past with Naz?
Oh, no, I've never met him.
No, not that you ever met him, but
No,
you
I
was
mean, after
hanging about nightclubs, were you or not?
I didn't say. If you listen, I said Naz used to hang around nightclubs and knock people out. I used to hang around with Naz at the shows, but apparently I never. I'll tell you what, the best thing to do, right? Ask him on Saturday.
Okay.
He's working for Talksport. I never boxed either. Ask Jim McDonnell.
Have you got your card?
No. Ask Jim McDonnell.
All right. Where is your card?
I don't know.
But you would have kept that. I'm not disputing it because I've actually spoken.
I was 13.
I've actually
in
spoken
gym
to
shows. Yeah,
McDonnell.
Jim McDonnell came to every one of my fights. So unless he's making it up, but Warren's like so obsessed. I reckon he's got like, you know, like when you go to sleep, you can have wallpaper on the ceiling. I reckon he's got me. And he lays there every night and he looks at me and goes, "You bastard, Hearn, but core, you're a sexy geezer." Or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I've never known anything like it. How can you be like that? Like, I want to say old, because, like, and worry. Like, all he thinks about is me. And I've come up with this idea that when I was watching some footage the other day of my dad, he was like a documentary about him, and Frank was there, and Frank was like, I don't know, 30, like early 30s, probably similar to me. And what he did is he came into the sport of boxing and gave all the old fellas a little smack up the bum. And in my words, tonked them all over the place. Like Jarvis
All over the gaff, that's
all
what you
over the
said.
gaff. So he should be admiring what I'm doing because I've just done the same. What are you laughing at?
You?
I've just gone in and just tonked all the old boys all over the gaff. No, but that's what I've done, isn't it? So it's only what he done, but like it's the old boys, they're done, they're finished. Those old school promoters, like my old man, done. Warren, done. It's time for the new generation to come through. So yeah, I don't know why they don't like me so much. But anyway.
I don't understand why people don't like you, but I can understand why people don't like you at the same time.
Really?
I could see it, yeah. I think if I hadn't met you and I just watched these videos, actually, I'd think, oh my God. It's secretly...
Maybe because I've not met Frank. So
I find that weird in all that time.
Mate, have you seen the rage? He couldn't have a conversation with me. The rage is real.
He's actually more chilled out than you think.
Does he? Don't come across that way.
No, he is actually
I'll have a chat with him.
light-hearted, more chilled out than what you'd think.
Yeah, I've never met him, but as my old man tells me, socially, decent guy. Business perspective, not for us. But got to admire him. He's been around a long time. But again, he's gone from the young buck, like me, to the bitter man. Probably, and when he got into the sport, he hoped he wouldn't become that bitter man. And I hope I never become that bitter man. Probably will, but it's boxing, I guess.
Okay, we obviously you've got this show on the 3rd, and then you've got a little. Obviously, you've got Quig fighting, but domestic shows, as in
Dillian White.
I can't believe we call them domestic shows, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Shows in Britain.
Shows in Britain. That's what I mean. Brook and then AJ. That's your March month. Done. Yeah.
So we've got 4 fights in March. We've got Brook Rabchenko, Quig Valdez, White against Brown, and AJ against Parker. Roll on.
I do want to finish off by talking about
Massive news coming soon.
Really?
Massive.
What you got?
Oh, mate.
Signing? New fight?
Just so much news, but like a couple of things going through at the moment.
Is it a fight you're trying to make?
I'm not. It's everything. It's just massive.
Okay. I do want to finish off by talking about what you were talking about at the start of the press conference today in Scott Westgarth.
Yep.
This is.
It
is a massive
tragedy.
And
people probably don't realise how close the box. And we talk about again Frank and us and joking around, but when something like this, everybody comes together and the boxing community comes together, and it's devastating. You know, a guy who loved the sport so much, who dedicated so much of his life to the sport, got the win on Saturday, and and I looked at that fight, and it was such a big win for him. You know, Dex Bellman's a good fighter, and I feel for Dex Bellman as well.
He's fought on some of your shows.
Yeah, and it was such a big win for Scott Westgarth. And, I said to Steffi Ball, who, obviously is feeling very down, that, you have to remember that, he left us on one of his greatest nights. He would have been so happy following that fight, and just brings back the reality of how tough this sport is. Everybody knows it. It's not like we don't know how tough this sport is. The fighters don't know how tough the sport is. We do. But we must also remember how tough it is, and we must also continue to evolve medically. The British Boxing Board of Control do a great job. We have like 3, 4 doctors, 2 anaesthetists at shows. They're everywhere, but you can never stop scientifically evolving, and we must continue to make sure that fighters are as safe as possible. Whether that's on eradicating same-day weigh-ins, whether that's looking at fighters' hydration through their camp or after the weigh-in, whether that's having some neurologists at ringside to even scan a fighter or to talk to the fighter. The New York State Athletic Commission, following the big case out there with Abduzarmev, probably got that name wrong, lost a huge financial case where they didn't give him the care that he needed following his fight. I feel like the British Boxing Board of Control do that. Whenever there's an injury in the ring, whenever someone feels ill in the ring, the paramedics are in there ASAP. But the truth remains, this is a dangerous sport, and sometimes tragedies will happen, as they do in other sports as well, that also carry danger. But what we have to do now is come together and make sure that we try our best to make sure that the family of Scott Westgarth are supported, emotionally and financially as well, because it's going to be a very tough time for them, and that's where the boxing community and family have to come together and make sure that our own are looked after.
Okay. I know are you going back?
Yes. I'm going to do a quick bit with William Hill, and then I'm off ski.
Right, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to TV, and we'll catch up with you over the weekend.
Time in history, all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man,